Hey guys, welcome back to my channel where we reviewed all the films I saw this year in 2023. We're nearing the end of the year. I'm hoping to get this out tomorrow, which will be December 29th. So we have 2 days left. So I did not end up going out and seeing Wonka, which in a weird way I'm okay with because I saw 20 films in general altogether. So I kind of like that even number of just 20. So I don't want it to be like 21 films. I did make a tier list just of all the grades if I were to have put this tier list together from the grades I gave them, but that's not the way I'm going to be actually making my tier list. I'm going to be just saying which ones I liked from my personal, how I enjoyed them and how many times I'll go rewatch these films and just what I thought on them. And I'll also say the grade I did give them as we go. But yeah, so this is the 20 films I saw this year. If you want to watch the individual reviews and see their individual grades, there's a playlist down below. Thank you guys for all the support this year. I know my number one person was my husband, which thank you. He watched every single review and commented on the ones that he saw with me. So I thank you for that. And I'll go ahead, if I think it's okay to shout out y'all's names. Hopefully Anna and Brissa for seeing movies. You guys have been like the three go-tos to go see movies with me, and I really appreciate you all. And then to the 27 new subscribers I got, just alone doing these movie reviews, like that's amazing. I think for doing this just for 3 months during my maternity leave, like that's amazing. And I got some comments. I love the discussion. So please also write down your all's tier list, what films you like the most. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. Please like, subscribe. Go ahead and still hit the bell notification. We are going to be still probably reviewing movies next year, but I'm going to try to learn how to do watch-alongs next year. And we're going to watch some films that either I have never watched, like classics that I've never watched, with you guys. And but we'll also be doing reviews. And maybe, I haven't even looked into what films are coming out next year, but I'm hoping to also post most anticipated for next year as well, which if Maxine's coming out next year, that's the most anticipated right now. I'm saying it right here, right now. I hope that film is great because I thought it was coming out this year and it didn't. So, but yeah, thank you guys so much for the journey of this. I really do appreciate it. And let's get into the best films of the 20 I reviewed on this channel from least to best, least to greatest.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Okay, so the first film that is going to be number 20, and that is going to be the film Inside. This was one that I really anticipated. My friend and I, we really were looking out for this film. We were trying to see it when it dropped. It wasn't available in any theater near us that we could find, and even during the making of the review for this film, I'm not going to be adding any clips to this one because it's very, I guess, secretive, and actually got an awful strike on it. But yeah, definitely can't use the clips for it. But I watched it at home, I streamed it, and it just was very, for as much as I was looking forward to seeing this film. I don't know if my friend ever ended up seeing it, but it just was very bland. It was cinematic. I ended up giving it D-. It's probably the lowest grade I gave it of all the films I watched this year. It just was very lackluster, and it was cinematic. That's the most I can give it. But yeah, of all of them, I probably will not be watching this one again. Like, I don't even think there's any bits or pieces I'm interested to re-see. Willem Dafoe did great for the content that he was given to work with. But other than that, it's probably going to be a skip if anyone's ever like, you want to go watch Inside again. Skip. Number 19 is going to be Magic Mike Last Dance. Although I do have the poster for it from the night my husband and I went and saw this film. I just am trying to envision when I go to watch a Magic Mike rewatch of the whole series. It will be very easy for me to watch the first one, kind of enjoy it. The second one, absolutely enjoy it. And this one, skip. It just really, even though I love Channing Tatum, I was really excited to see Salma Hayek in it. And they kind of just threw together a story. There was story, but it's kind of thrown together. I gave it a D- in the review, and just, again, it can be rewatchable, but not rewatchable in an enjoyable way, not one that I would like think to rewatch. It would only just be because it's a trilogy, and so sure, let's finish the trilogy, I suppose. But other than that, I could skip it. Coming in at number 18 is Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. The thing with this movie, as well as Inside being lower on the tier list, is I'm kind of bummed out putting them there because I really was highly anticipating these films. So to put them so far down, but I was anticipating them, but they just didn't turn out that great. With Ant-Man and the Wasp, I really loathe Darren Cross's return as Corey Stroll, which was Yellow Jacket. Them throwing him in there and the way they threw him in there and his arc and all that, it was absolutely horrible. I could not stand the CGI. I could not stand just a lot of it. I was very excited for Kang, and that's a whole nother issue now. Not going to be watching Kang Dynasty, probably. Like, oh my god, that's a whole issue. It's so crazy how literally with a lot of these films, after I reviewed them, what changes are going to be happening for them for going further in their timelines. But yeah, Ant-Man and the Wasp, again, I was never really interested in the Ant-Man series. Paul Rudd, I love Paul Rudd, and he does really good as Ant-Man, but he does good when he's with other people, like him bouncing off of like Captain America, or like in Civil War and stuff like that. He does really good when he's with other people to bounce off of. But when it's just his individual movies, I'm not really an Ant-Man fan, so this one didn't do anything more to make me go like, oh yeah, I want to see more Ant-Man individualized films. I don't really care. Coming in at number 17 is Infinity Pool. This film was interesting. It was unique. It definitely was not just a one you have to watch with the series, anything like that. It was really interesting. I just don't see myself rewatching it, not only because of the strobing lights and everything, due to being prone to having epileptic seizures, but it was an interesting story to see one time. I'm not really, invested in seeing it again. I couldn't really see myself watching it again, learning more stuff, enjoying it as much. I feel like it had the same feel as the films A Cure for Wellness and Shutter Island. Like, maybe you could go back and rewatch and learn more stuff, but I think there's nothing more to learn, and you could view it in different ways, but the one viewing was good enough for me. In my review, I did rate this one as a C+. It was really good. It is more tolerable, but it's just not something I could see myself really revisiting all too much. Maybe one more time when I can skip around the Flash parts, but besides that, interesting concept, but just not something for me going forward. Coming in at number 16 is Knock at the Cabin. This one I rated a C, and it was really good. I did enjoy seeing, especially Dave Bautista, play a different role than just Drax from Guardians of the Galaxy. He did really well. It is so nice to see also Rupert Grint return to film. I haven't seen him, especially in anything non-independent like the B movies and stuff like that. I did not see any B movies this year. These are all just like mainstream films, but it was really good. I did end up buying the book. I haven't finished reading the book, but it's pretty true to the book so far from what I've read. But yeah, it was really good. I can see myself rewatching this quite a bit. It just, I still don't really understand all too much about the Horsemen or the apocalypse, and I also really just don't care about the apocalypse because I'm more in the mindset like, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I don't think there's a way to prevent apocalypse. I don't think there's a way to foresee an apocalypse. And there's a lot of stuff still left out. Maybe, again, either I just didn't pay attention. I do think I watched this one by myself. So, yeah, I don't think I have anyone to bounce off ideas. If more people do know more about the storyline of Knock at the Cabin with the Four Horsemen, the apocalypse, who was telling them this stuff, all that, please comment down below and let me know. I would love to have more of a conversation about this film. I do feel like it's one we could have a conversation with. Coming in at number 15 is Strays. I rated this one in the reviews as a C. I really enjoyed this movie. I really can see myself rewatching it. Again, like I said in my review, and how I reword it to everybody is that I really think it's like Homeward Bound, but for adults. So it's a lot of fun to watch. It's not the greatest, but it is fun to watch, and I can definitely see myself rewatching it and enjoying it. It's pretty funny. Just probably funnier if you're drunk type of movie, but it was really good. I enjoyed it. Coming in at number 14 is The Nun 2. I really enjoyed The Nun. My husband really enjoys The Nun. We enjoy this whole franchise of The Conjuring, and I do think which one did I think? I still think the Nun original was better and scarier. This one didn't really have too many scare tactics to it. I think what made the Nun so scary for me personally was it was so dark and I couldn't tell what the heck I was looking at. So when something happened and it wasn't just like a cop out and it's actually something scary, it legit scared me. This one didn't really have that. Again, I still wish we had like a background on what Valak the demon is wanting in this universe. And I do find Valak a lot more scary, well, in The Nun, but also in, again, the Conjuring films themselves. Like the idea of Valak is super intense. Going forward, again, background stuff. In the film, I don't know if we'll get any more of Valak at all, let alone another Nun movie. I know a lot of people were like, but I did. I think the first one, like I said in the review, it left it with open-ended of that guy was possessed, so it made sense to me that for a second one, I'll definitely rewatch both of them. So yeah, I really did enjoy The Nun too. Coming in at number 13, that is going to be Megan, which was actually the first film I watched this year, and I rated that one a D+. See how interesting it is to do from the graded tiers to my personal tier list, because my personal tier list, some of the lower grades might be up a little bit higher and some of the higher ones may be lower. Yeah, I'm really basing it on rewatchability. And Megan, I've already actually rewatched several times, only because they did come out with the rated R that it deserved and should have been theatrically released, but they're trying to get a younger crowd to watch it. But it was really good. I do definitely see a universe that they're going to be launching Megan off into. I guess the only reason it's not in the top 10 is because just some other films were a little bit had a little bit more cinematicness to it, more more polished. Let's just say that. A little bit more polished, but it's still really good. I did enjoy it quite a bit. The next film is coming in at number 12 is Indiana Jones, The Dial of Destiny. This film was, I don't think I really even planned to see it. It was on my list, but I wasn't really gung-ho to go see it. I haven't watched any of the Indiana Jones films prior to this one. But when my husband's dad and stepmom came into town, his dad wanted to see it, so I was like, okay, sure, let's go see it. And it was really good. I did have to knock it for the de-aging. The de-aging was really distracting in this. I just wondered what the fuck was wrong with Harrison Ford's face, but then I realized, oh, that's de-aging. Kudos to him for being as old as he is and still performing some of his own stunts. Like, that is absolutely amazing. I did like the idea of, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to write who it was. I believe it was Archimedes. I named my little owl tattoo right here. His name's Archimedes. So I think that's who it was he went back in time to go see, was Archimedes. I like that idea. The time traveling was interesting. I loved Mads Mikkelsen as the antagonist, but I still don't understand how they didn't explain how he survived that rod to the head on a fast fucking train. But yeah, I probably won't rewatch it, and I'm not gonna really go down a whole Indiana Jones journey. It's not that interesting to me, but it was a good film on its own. Coming in at number 11 is Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning, and I graded that one as a C-. So again, it's interesting how the grading process is different to my personalized, because I do think, according to the grade, that Indiana Jones was maybe looked a little better of a film. But in the end, I did enjoy Mission Impossible a little bit more. Something I didn't mention in my review, which I'm just going to kind of touch on. I don't know why I forgot about her, maybe because she's forgettable. Haley Atwell as Grace. She did okay. I don't really enjoy Haley Atwell, especially in MCU, but she did really well in this, actually. I didn't really believe them as a love interest. They didn't really have that great of chemistry. I don't know, kind of like with Indiana Jones, I do not watch Mission Impossible. My go-to action hero is James Bond, and Daniel Craig is James Bond, to be exact. But it was interesting for what it was, and was that in this film or the other film? That's why I don't know which film is which. They seem so much alike, so it was good. But Tom Cruise, for that stunt, that yes, they overly promoted, but he did that own stunt himself, and I love Tom Cruise because he loves film almost as much as me. Obviously more so because he's actually doing film, but yeah, he's a big inspiration when it comes to the film industry. So maybe that's why I kind of snuck it a little bit above. Another reason I think I rated it a little bit higher on my personal list than Indiana Jones is because I could see myself rewatching Mission Impossible as a standalone. I cannot see myself going back and rewatching all of them because there's just so many. I don't even know how many. But as a standalone, I mean, I've watched all of Daniel Craig's James Bond, and I don't always just do a James Bond marathon. I have watched Skyfall individually so many times. So I could definitely see me rewatching this, even if it's just for background noise while I'm feeding my baby or something like that. I could definitely see me rewatching this. But Indiana Jones, probably not as much. So that's why I'm just justifying why, even though I graded this one lower, it is higher on my personal tier list. So. Coming in at number 10 is the film Barbie. I rated this one in the review as a B-. It is very well done. It was interesting. The reason I think, for me, obviously why it's so high up, is I love Barbies. I played with Barbies my whole life. Like I mentioned in my review, my sister and I played with Barbies in a little different of a way, to where, unlike this film where the women are the main focal points, and then it's just like the men are background characters, and it's like, where do Ken sleep? It was opposite for my sister and I. We focused more on like the Kens. The males were the most important. They were the focal points, and then it's just like the women were just there to kind of just be their friends, not even like partners and stuff like that, just friends. But it was just interesting. I love going into the world of Barbie, and I knew from the instant I saw the trailer, I was like, oh my god, we have to see that together, my sister and I, because we grew up with Barbies. I'm not really a fan of how much they try to make it that how stupid they made Ken. I don't know why, but like I said, we've always made men the more focal point, and I do feel for men just as much as I feel for women, just as much as I feel for kids, just as much as I feel for animals. I just feel for everybody on the equal plane, and I love that scene with the big empowering women can never feel like they're enough, but at the same time, that's humans. No one ever feels attractive enough, good enough, feels like they're doing everything right, feels like everything's our fault. And I just feel like that can really apply to any and all people. So, but other than that, it was really great. Coming in at number 9 is Five Nights at Freddy's. I know that one's probably really shocking. I graded it on its review as a C, but I actually really enjoyed this film. I wish I could have seen it in theaters, but my baby was like just a couple weeks old at that point, and I didn't feel comfortable just leaving her. So I'm glad that I was able to see it on streaming. I really know nothing about the lore of Five Nights at Freddy's. I've tried to educate myself a little bit more since it's come out, but I just really enjoyed this movie as an independent thing. I understand it would have been better rated R, but it's understandable why it's not, because the games themselves are made for kids. So, yeah, I can't have kids watching, like, Terrifier level of gore. But I think for what it was really good. It was a good segue, and I cannot wait for my niece to be, like, 13 years old and have this be, like, a gateway movie for her into horror. If she wants to watch that. Not saying she has to, but I think it'd be cute. Or my own personal daughter now. She's watched it, but she's just a baby. She has no idea what was happening. I do think they really were weird to add such a custody issue to it, but in all intents and purposes, it's great. And Matthew Lillard, it is great seeing him. We may not see that scene in Scream 7 because we don't know what the fuck is going on with Scream 7. So for me, that was freaking the scene I needed to complete Matthew Lillard's character in the Scream franchise. Coming in at number 8 is Evil Dead Rise. This came out this year. Like, I have seen this movie so many times. It feels like this is like has been out for like 2 or 3 years. This is probably, looking at the list, the most, maybe there's one more that could be just as much, but one of the most rewatched movies I've seen this year. I love this movie. Again, I'm not good. I have learned this year how much I'm not good with the lore of like franchises. I love the franchises I love, but like other ones I'm not used to, I haven't really seen, but I haven't seen, so I don't know much. And I did get a comment about that on the review of Evil Dead Rise, which I rated that as a B. But about Bruce Campbell's original character, Ash, I don't know much about him. I know to a lot of people this movie isn't an Evil Dead movie because Ash isn't in it, but as an individual movie, I think it's fucking awesome. I love it. I think it's great. Again, I have rewatched it several times. I don't think anyone personal to me has watched it, so you guys definitely comment, let me know what you think of the movie as an individual. I understand Bruce Campbell's not in it. I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry if you feel like it's not an Evil Dead movie because of that, but let me know even those thoughts in a nice, kind way. But yeah, I really like this movie, so it's definitely up there for me. Our next film coming in at number 7 is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. I really did love this movie, but it's kind of an in-between. It's up there, it's great. I could definitely see myself rewatching it when I do decide to go down and do my MCU rewatch complete binge, which I kind of started the other day. I watched Iron Man and Iron Man 2, but I want to watch them in timeline order all over again. I binge watched WandaVision, binge watched Hawkeye. If you guys do not watch Hawkeye during Christmas, it is definitely Christmassy. I love it. I love it so much. But back to Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, I rated it B+ on its original review. But because I do love animals so much and I love Rocket so much, it hurts me to see animals hurt and dying and going in pain. So I probably won't rewatch it like ever on its own. Like I watch Guardians of the Galaxy 2 on its own all the time. But now that it's a trilogy, I'll watch it as a trilogy. But I'm not going to willingly put this one in just because, unless I willingly want to cry my eyes out. But it was great, and it was great finishing for the Guardians as we know them. I like how they made it seem like more of them were going to like pass away and stuff. But it's just the end of how we know them, not the end of the Guardians of the Galaxy like they were kind of teasing it was going to be. But yeah, it was really great, and definitely will rewatch it as a series of the Guardians of the Galaxy or the MCU binge watch. Okay, you guys, we are getting close to the top 5, but before we get there, I am placing at number 6, The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. Such a long title. But upon rethinking, I haven't rewatched it, but upon rethinking, kind of like the rest of everything, I haven't watched the franchise. God, I suck at learning the franchises. But as an individual movie, it was really good. I can see me rewatching it. I just will have to drink a lot to get over how many times they say each other's names. I rated this a D+ on its original review. I'm going to be honest, mainly because I cannot stand Rachel Zegler's character. She's a great actress. Her voice is beautiful, but the Lucy Gray Baird character is so annoying to me. But other than that, it was really good. It did tell good stories. Let me say good stories, because they placed it in 3 different chapters, and they had so much going for it. But I really don't fault them for that. I think they're trying to appease fans by saying, oh, we're getting annoyed if you guys break them up into 2 movies. So they try to squeeze everything in. It's like, oh, this is too long of a movie and you missed so much. They can't win. And I think they did a great job at trying to squeeze everything in to just one movie. They attempted. I think they did a really great job, actually. And yeah, the more I've thought about it, it's kind of grown on me. So I may actually, when it comes out, rewatch it and enjoy it. Okay, guys, we are finally in the top 5, and it was my most anticipated movie. Kind of had a letdown on this one, but it was my most anticipated. My goal was to see this movie before my baby arrived, and I made it to my goal, and I was so excited for Saw X, or Saw 10, but Saw X. I rated this one an A-. For me, I absolutely love this. I love that it gave a revamp to a lot of people who gave up on the Saw franchise. That made me so excited. I do love that it told the story from John Kramer's point of view. It gave us more of an insight. It kind of also laughed at like his whole perspective of he doesn't kill people, he teaches people lessons or whatever, you know. It kind of jabs at that. They're like, okay, but your morals, like stuff like that. It does have a lot of flaws. I'm not a fan of the Cecilia character. I can tell we're going to go into Saw 11 with one of them two going after each other. Either John Kramer going after Cecilia or Cecilia going after John Kramer. We have so many ideas. Please leave your comments down below on what you think we should go into in Saw 11, what we should expect. I'm just happy there's Saw in 2023 that with Tobin Bell as John Kramer. Like, just the excitement. I was just so excited for it. But there were films that were a little bit better on the rewatchable side of it. But for me, I just freaking love this franchise. Okay, coming in at number 4, we have Scream 6. This one, I think, has been my most rewatched. I have rewatched this so many times, and this is a franchise I was not well versed in, but I made myself well versed in. I went and I rewatched all of them. I watched every single Scream movie. Yeah, every single one. I didn't really stay awake during the 4th one, but I did rewatch it again. But yeah, I did get knowledgeable on it, and at first I was like, okay, it's kind of stupid because they just keep repeating the same thing, and Ghostface is never the same person. But then I started thinking, that's actually kind of ingenious. That's how he can always come back, or Ghostface can always come back, because it's always someone new. And I do find this kind of repetitive with the same beat of, okay, the protagonist in the first one passed away, and now his family is coming after that same group, and they're out of Westboro. And it did feel like watching, because you have Saw, oh my God, I'm sorry. Scream 1, 2, 3, 4 with Neve Campbell and that whole group. And then Scream 5, but they called it Scream, but it's technically like a different branch. It's kind of like Halloween, how Halloween has different branches of Halloween, but it's also within the same vein. So it's confusing as fuck, but it's really enjoyable. And I don't know why I watched it so many times, but I really did enjoy this movie. It's unexpected for me to enjoy it, but I really did. And I really don't know what the fuck is going to be happening with Saw. It's not Saw, man.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
With Scream 7, all the behind-the-scenes stuff, them firing Melissa Barrera, Jenna Ortega not returning. I think one of the either directors or producers is now not returning. So who knows what Scream 7 is going to be. I don't think we're ever going to get Stu Macher in Scream 7, so that's why I like the Five Nights at Freddy's, because it gave me that ending, because I don't think we're going to get it. I did rate this one C+, but on a personal rewatchable, obviously super rewatchable. I've watched it so many times. I love it. Now, if they ever did do a Scream 7, if they can get their shit together, I did like the idea of how we watched who we thought was Ghostface do what he did, and then go about his day. And we know who it is, but I think it'd be interesting to do the whole movie. We know who it is, and we're just watching everybody trying to figure it out, but we know. That'd be such a cool concept. But yeah, I just really love this movie, and I've seen it so many times, and I'll see it so many more times, and I really want the poster to it as well. So it's just so cool. Okay, guys, top 3. Now, I do need to really let you guys know, because I can already tell I may get some backlash from this. This is my personal viewing. I graded this one as an A+. If I were to do a tier list, what movies cinematically is going to the Oscars and getting awards, this one would be number 1. But this is my top tier list. This is my personal, how many times am I going to watch this movie? How much did I enjoy this movie experience? So for me, number 3 is Killers of the Flower Moon. I really did enjoy it. I can see myself rewatching it at home when I can take as many bathroom breaks and pause it and go back to what I missed and dissect it and see what all I missed, because I know I missed a lot in the theatrical viewing. But it was really good. They did a lot to get this film made, and obviously, hopefully, I know it's going to get nominated for Oscars. I hope it gets some actual awards for it. Leonardo DiCaprio, Robert De Niro, Martin Scorsese. There's big names on this one. They worked together before. They made movie magic before. I think they made another movie magic moment here. Newcomer Lily Gladstone kept up with everybody else. She did absolutely perfect. She's absolutely beautiful. And this story really needed to be told for Indigenous crime and the unfairness of it. This was such an important story to tell, and I think they did pretty good justice to it. But yeah, so I know it should be number one. I know it should, but there is just one movie that I already know I'm going to get a lot of what. I love my viewing of that film, so there's just two more that on a personal level I really truly enjoyed. So, but number 3 is not bad. It's top 3. Whoop, whoop. Okay, coming in at number 2 is Napoleon. I rated this a B+ on the original review. I absolutely love this movie. I know it's not historically correct. It is as historically correct as you could get for squeezing it into a 2-hour and some odd minute time frame. I'm very, very excited to see the 4-hour cut. But I really was excited when I saw this trailer of Napoleon. I love learning about Napoleon Bonaparte. Not when I was in school. It was actually when I became a substitute teacher and went back to school. Yeah, I think they're like 9th graders, maybe 10th graders. One of their assignments was to put on a documentary about Napoleon, and I don't know, I just love learning about him. And I love Joaquin Phoenix. I think this was beautifully shot. The costumes were great. The accents were all over the place. But again, it has some flaws. Everything has flaws. But as for rewatchability, I will definitely be rewatching this, and I'll definitely look forward to that 4-hour cut that they're dropping on Apple TV. And I hope the heck it's even better, and that I even want to rewatch that as well. And yeah, I just think this movie did absolutely perfect. Again, I know historically it did not do perfect, and there was a lot of misinformation in it, and that can piss a lot of people off. I know it did piss a lot of people off. It probably should piss me off a lot, but it doesn't, and I like it, and it's number 2 on my personal list. So yeah, guys, we are at number 1 movie of 2023 on my personal list. I don't think a lot of hate. I'm just gonna get a lot of confused people scratching their heads like, what? That movie? Over Killers of the Flower Moon? Over Mission Impossible? What? A Haunting in Venice. I absolutely love this movie. I have always loved Hercule Poirot, and I did not know that Kenneth Branagh not only starred as Hercule Poirot, but he also directs it. He does such a great job at being Poirot. Like, I just absolutely love him being this character. I have seen, what was the first one called? Murder on the Orient Express. I've seen that one. I haven't seen the Murder on the Nile or Killing on the Nile. I haven't seen that one, but it doesn't matter. As an individual movie, this is so perfect. I loved it. I loved the challenge that maybe that's why. Maybe I take it so personally because he really did get challenged with him being a realist. He doesn't believe in anything, and he can see the flaws in the scam, whatever you want to call it, and in the seance and the afterlife and everything that Joyce Reynolds was trying to promote. And the fact not only Joyce Reynolds, the medium, but the woman, Rowena Drake set up the whole seance and everything just to cover her own ass. And it's just, I don't know why, I just love seeing the reality of that stuff. People, it's like exorcist films, like they claim demon, but it's really all just to hide something. But I loved how he has challenged that he did he see stuff? Was he drugged? I don't know. I've only seen it once. I really need to rewatch it. I need to rewatch it, but I'm going to rewatch it. I'm going to see it. I want this poster. I want to rewatch it. I want to live in this film. It is based off Agatha Christie's, not A Haunting in Venice, but A Halloween Party. And I want to go get that book. I want to read the book. I want to rewatch the movie. I want the poster. I am obsessed with this movie. It was so good. My viewing was just at home with my baby in my arms, and we just watched it. She's a baby. She has no idea what's going on. I do feel like, of course, there are things that could have made the film better. But for me personally, maybe it's just because I have a history of Poirot, and then also with not believing in anything myself, and just that challenge. And I don't know, it's just something about it is just so exciting to me. I just loved it. But even on the I rated it A. I gave it an A. So even on like normal list or the grading list, it would still come right after Killers of the Flower Moon in my mind. Because Killers of the Flower Moon, let's say the obvious list, it would be up there because it's Oscar worthy. I gave it an A+. It's the only A+ I gave this year. Oscar worthy. So then A Haunting in Venice. But as for a personal, what I actually enjoyed, and I just can't stop thinking about it, A Haunting in Venice. I just love this movie. Like I was saying, I want a poster. I want to read the book. I want to rewatch the movie. I want to live in this film. I just love this film so much. So it is my number one. But please list down what your all's favorites were this year. Okay, guys, there you have it. All the films I saw this year in 2023. I did want to see a lot more, like in some of the beginning reviews, I did post that list. I might go into more depth later on about the movies I wanted to see, and if anything, they may become watch-alongs for next year that we'll watch together. But for now, these is just, I was only able to see 20 of them. I was pregnant all year. I didn't get to see as many as I wanted to. But for the ones I did see, I enjoyed all of these. If anyone's like, oh my God, my favorite movie's at the bottom, what the hell? Make your own tier list. Like, let me know. How would you guys rate these 20 movies? I think they're absolutely, all of them were great. Even Inside, I know it's at the bottom of literally every list I made. Grading wise, personal wise, Oscar worthy wise, it's the last movie. It's number 20 all the way around. But it's enjoyable. I did enjoy it. And every movie is great. It's a lot like it. I don't hate on any movie because it takes so much to make films. And I'm so glad we're in a day and age where it's safe to go back out there, go to the movie theater, see them. Please support them, you guys. Please, the whole movie suck more and more. It's the whole loop of we don't go see films and promote them and give them the love and attention they need, but yet we sit back and complain that there are no good films. Go help films so we can get good films. It takes two to tango and to make good films. It takes the people making the films, and it takes the audience to go see the film. On this journey with me, on just watching these films with me, hearing my little opinion, because I enjoy this channel channel, not just because it gave me something to do during my maternity leave, or not because maybe it'll kick off and maybe I'll be able to make this as an income. That would be such a dream of mine, but mainly because I just enjoy talking film. I enjoy giving my opinion, hearing other people's opinions, and please comment down below. Let me know what your all's tier lists have been. What was your favorite movie, even if it's one I didn't get to see? What would you recommend for me to see? Yeah, thank you guys so much. It's been a fun year, and I might make a couple more videos, either of most anticipated for next year. I need to start that list, or talking about the movies I missed that I'm interested in seeing for next year. I don't know if we'll get there. I might just see you guys next year. Bye.